All right, folks, hey, welcome back to the program. Got a special treat on the line. We have Dr. Michael Pakko is back with us. He's the chair of the Libertarian Party of Arkansas. Dr. Pakko, good to have you on again, sir.
Oh, well, thank you for inviting me. It's good to be here.
Yes, sir. It's always great to have you. Now, I wanted to have you on to talk about this latest development here. We have a story, let's see, this is from the Arkansas Times, July 6th. Libertarian Party halts new law aimed at restricting ballot access. What can you tell us about this, and what can you tell us about this court decision?
Oh, well, it was basically a 4th of July gift for us from the federal court. We had challenged the law that was recently passed during the legislature to increase the petition requirement from 10,000 signatures to effectively about 27,000 signatures. And we had a hearing in court on June 4th and had about a month to wait for the decision, but it turned out in our favor. The court entered an injunction that requires the Secretary of State to accept 10,000 signatures as it was before the law was changed. We've already submitted 18,000 raw signatures. We anticipate that enough of those will be valid so that you'll see the Libertarian Party on the ballot in Arkansas next year in the elections.
What can you tell us about, the motivations for this? Because, one of the quotes, I think, in the Gazette had to do with this was a Republican deal. Can you talk a little bit about how the law that was just stopped, the genesis of it?
Well, I'm not sure what the motivation is of the individuals who were behind it. It was pretty much a partisan vote in both houses in our state legislature, a little bit more so in the Senate than the House. But, it seemed pretty clear to us that it was designed to make it more difficult, if not impossible, for third parties like the Libertarian Party to be on the ballot. And it felt kind of personal to us as well because we're the only third party that's managed to make the ballot over the past two cycles. So any sort of argument about how the ballot is overcrowded sounds pretty much directed at us. But there's certainly, they didn't make the case that the ballot is overcrowded with three parties on the ballot. So that doesn't really fly as a sufficient motivation.
No, I think you're right. Do you think, though, there's any, to me, you guys, the Libertarian candidate for governor, Mark West, last time around, and he almost got to the 3% mark, which would have meant that you guys wouldn't have had to gather signatures. You would have automatically been on the ballot the next time. So to me, I kind of saw it, and feel free to disagree, as a way to say, well, you guys almost became a nuisance, and so now we're going to raise the threshold and make it even harder.
Well, there's probably some of that involved, too. I mean, certainly if we had not been improving and becoming more successful, I suppose it wouldn't be worthwhile to even try to keep us off the ballot. But as you pointed out, Mark West came closer than anyone has ever come in Arkansas history to establishing a third party in Arkansas by getting that 3%. So perhaps that put a little bit of urgency into the situation, as some folks saw it. But I guess the important thing is that we will survive to try again.
So the lawsuit was back in March. Libertarians sued back in March, saying that the laws unconstitutionally increased the number of valid signatures that new political parties must collect on petitions from 10,000 to 3% of the total vote cast for governor in the last general election. That would require the party to obtain 26,000 instead of 10,000. Let's just be honest, Libertarian Party of Arkansas, like any third party, is not going to have the kind of resources that these other parties have.
No, that's right. That's right. And nor do we have resources or big money backing us, as in the case of ballot initiatives or things like that, which also require a lot of signatures. It's very expensive and time-consuming of volunteer resources to mount a petition campaign, and this essentially just raised the price of getting your party onto the ballot. And I think that was part of the state's case in the hearing that we had on June 4th. But again, didn't prevail as a valid view from the court. That the judge recognized that the Libertarian Party has limited resources, and we've been doing the best we could.
Yeah.
We were collecting signatures at the same time that we were pursuing the lawsuit. We needed to show the court that we were serious. This wasn't just a frivolous lawsuit trying to overturn a law that was irrelevant. We really were stymied by it, and we're working, trying to fulfill the requirements of the law, and just not having the resources to do so.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this. We're talking with Dr. Michael Pakko. He is the chair of the Libertarian Party of Arkansas. He's reacting to this injunction. I tend to vote for Republicans. I do, and I realize that right now, we've got Republican supermajorities here in Arkansas, and sometimes I think because of the Democrat Party is sinking so fast that we've got some bigger government Republicans in because that's where they find their new home. And so maybe we don't have as a limited government, a live and let live, the policies that I think a lot of people, issue by issue in Arkansas, would agree with. And so to me, I see this as, the Republicans maybe are worried that, of course, if they aren't conservative enough, they're going to face a primary challenge. But then you never know, with the Libertarian Party gaining steam, then you might have a more conservative candidate. And I use the word conservative in terms like, limited government guy in the general. And so I kind of see this as a way to get rid of what they consider to be, having to run a competitive general election. For years, Michael, the Democrat Party, when they were in control, you had the primaries, and that was essentially your general election. Whoever won the primary in a Democrat primary was going to go on to beat the Republican. And, as the Libertarian Party grows, the Republicans may not have that advantage.
Well, yeah, that was one of the points that we made in court, is that there certainly isn't a lack of, or there is certainly a lack of competition, rather, in the political process right now. That in the 2018 election, it was 54% of the state House members were unopposed in the general election. That would have been 59% had it not been for a handful of libertarians who were challenging otherwise uncontested incumbents. So, that's really the only thing that it would gain the Republican Party, for that matter, or Democrats, for that matter, is less competition when it comes to Election Day. And we already have more than half of our state legislature face no competition in their election bids. Many of them face no primary either. So they're basically in office due to the fact that they've paid an exorbitant filing fee to their respective parties. So we're just trying to give the voters another option.
Yeah. Well, I know the libertarian community was thrilled with the injunction. So the law cannot be enforced. So you guys are going to go and get your signatures like you normally do, get the lower threshold. But what happens from now? I mean, obviously the case could technically still go the other way, still could go against you guys. Is that right?
Well, yes. This isn't the conclusion of the case. There's a trial date scheduled for next May, where I guess everything will be settled. If not before then, I'm not sure exactly how that'll work. That's kind of the lawyer game. That's not what I'm trying to figure out. But for now, the Secretary of State is enjoined to accept our signatures. We've already turned them in. As I understand it, the Secretary of State's office is presently counting those signatures, and that we will be certified as a new political party, assuming that 10,000 of those are valid. Then, of course, that's contingent on not being reversed in court subsequent to this time. But as it stands right now, we declared a new political party, and the judge would not have issued this ruling if it weren't for a very strong assertion, and this was made explicit in her decision, that we were likely to prevail in the final decision. And that's one of the very strict requirements of entering an injunction like this.
Yeah. So it certainly looks good for you guys, and just in the in the transparency of saying, most of the time I'm going to vote for the Republican most of the time, but as somebody that believes in competitive political ideas, I think ballot access has got to be something that we promote. It's got to be something that people can achieve in a transparent way, and not a way where you use the government, you use the law to construct what is essentially choice architecture, and that I think that can be detrimental to the concept of the consent of the governed and the people being able to express themselves at the voter. But I think those are American concepts, and I think they need to be protected. And so I support, the libertarians and you guys getting ballot access.
Well, we appreciate that, and really at this point, that's all we're asking for, is to give us a chance to put our candidates before the voters. Next year, when we have our candidates all in line and ready to go, we'll be asking for their vote, for your votes for them. But at this point, it's like just, give us a chance to be part of the process so we can take part and have some influence, hopefully.
Yeah, absolutely. Dr. Michael Pakko, it's always great to talk to you, sir. I appreciate you spending time with us this morning, and hopefully we'll do it again soon.
Oh, my pleasure. I hope to talk to you again soon.
All righty.